Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Real Talk with Joe and Cody. How's it going, Cody?
Doing pretty good. How about
Good,
you?
man. Good, good. I don't have anything really cool. I
No?
wish I did. Just the
Oh,
normal sports.
yeah.
Cora's in soccer. Oh, Cora had. So I coached 2 teams in soccer.
Oh, wow.
22 girls. So,
Wow.
but we practice together and then we play different games. 2 games on Saturdays. And normally I can only coach one because then I got to go to Rory's football games. So, but this time they scheduled us to play each other. Um,
That's
so we've got
awkward.
8-year-old girls playing each other. So there was a lot of hesitancy at first. They were just like, I don't want to play my friends. I don't want to do
Right.
this. But it actually ended up going well. So we had that
All
last
right.
week, and it actually we bribed them with donuts and drinks and said, hey,
There you go.
afterwards we all get donuts. We all,
There we go.
no
We
matter
all
who
win.
wins, we all ultimately win because we're all on the same team. So yeah, it
Right.
works. But
Or do you
anyways,
all lose?
I don't think we can. You're a glass half empty kind of guy in that mode.
Yeah.
I was
It
like,
better
yeah,
be
no
a
matter if we
tie.
yeah. It actually oddly was one of the best battled games we've played. I think we do
Oh,
have the
really?
most talented teams
Yeah.
in the league, and it was a pretty hard fought battle. So that was good.
Wow.
So
Well,
yeah, other than
that all stems from good coaching.
dude, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it because it is
Somebody
absolutely
needs to
true.
say
It
it.
is absolutely true. I tell the girls every time, if you lose, it's on you. If you win, it's on me.
That's
So
right.
like,
Yeah.
they
Somebody's got to
love
take the
they
credit
love me
here.
as a coach.
Yeah.
Uh,
All the
so,
compliments.
yeah. So what's going on with you, man?
Oh, the usual. Kids in sports. Actually, Eli and I are going to the Ducks game on Saturday.
Oh,
So
oh,
Ducks play Indiana, and it's
okay.
going to be college game day down there. So we're gonna do the early morning,
Really? So you're
get
getting
down there.
down
Get
there. That'll
Yeah,
be
it's his
fun.
first
Are you going to try to
first
get on
game.
TV?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll get there in time
Okay.
because I'm not planning on getting there
You're like
like
not that
at the
early.
beginning. Yeah, I want to get there to like see it and
Yes.
experience it, but not stand there for
Not
3
like
hours
college
because the
drunk guy.
game's
Like,
yes the game's not till 12:30.
okay, so you'd have to be
So I'm
down there,
like,
what,
if we
6?
can.
Like, if you
Yeah,
wanted
so
to be part of
we're
that?
gonna try to get down there, like, around 8,
Okay.
get the last hour of
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
kinda get
that's
the
good.
experience, and then we'll
For
go get
sure.
breakfast and wander around,
Cool.
but I'm like, "Dude, how lucky are you that your first Ducks game, or just game in general that you get
Yeah.
to go
It's
to,
a game, yeah,
it's a game day game, it's a top
yeah.
10 matchup." I'm like, "I've been going to games my whole life, and I don't know that I've ever even been to a top 25
Yeah,
matchup, let
yeah.
alone this." So,
That's awesome, yeah.
yeah,
Well, the Beavers are doing really well this year. I don't know if
they
you've
are,
kinda kept
yeah,
track of it. It's just
yeah.
super, super successful season.
You
Um,
know,
it's the
where do you
ultimate
land.
rebuild the ultimate rebuilding year for the Beavers.
Yes, yes.
Ultimate,
Where do you
like
land with getting rid of the coach?
I
I
don't
know
know,
that's I've
man. I
been
don't
listening to the
know.
radio a lot, and
Like,
that's
I wish I had any, talent or forethought into that, and I think it's easy to say fire the coach. I don't know.
sure.
I don't have enough to say, on it. I think I've unfortunately, because I'm not a fair weather fan because 'cause I've liked the Beavers through all of their crappy years, but I just, like, going 0-6, it's like, what a
I know.
you know, I don't really like, I watch them when they're on TV, but
Yeah.
I don't really.
It's
It's a
tough.
rebuilding year. I
It's
just I
really
just
tough.
push it to the back of my mind and just,
Yeah,
I'll still be their fan and,
sure.
whatever, so,
I mean, that's how I feel about the Blazers and the Mariners. Like,
yeah,
Ducks,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, that's
definitely
your team
much more
that
of a
can
diehard.
actually be confident in, yeah.
Yeah, but Blazers and Mariners, like, those are my NBA team and my baseball team,
Yeah,
right? But I'm not, like, diehard to watch them all year long, and it is really hard when the team's just not that great.
for
Like, there's
sure.
so many games, the season's so long, each game doesn't really have that much meaning
That
to it,
much
so when
meaning,
they're just
exactly.
when it's not looking good, it's like, man, it's hard to just carve out time
I know.
that you don't really have a whole lot of to just watch them more than likely lose.
And especially on, like baseball especially, it's like Tuesday at 1 in the afternoon, a
I
game.
know.
You're like, "What? Who
Yeah,
watches that game? Like, who goes to
exactly.
that game?" So,
Uh,
I
I
always
don't know.
try every single year to like Major League Baseball. I try
Yeah.
every single year, and I just
Yep.
can't get around it. Like, college baseball, I'm around. Beavers are good in college baseball, so I can get behind that, but, man, MLB is just so hard to stick with.
It is
But
tough.
and we moved a lot, and I know, like, this isn't a pity party for me, but we moved a lot, so I never got really loyal to a location team,
But yeah, sure.
we were in Georgia, Virginia, all over the place, so I never really, like, had a tie to anyone, and so I
Yeah,
still don't have a tie, so maybe you
right.
can help me. I wanna
Well,
get a feel for when I go to the stadium, I'm like, "This is it." Because when I started becoming a Green
yeah.
Bay Packers fan, that's what happened. I went into
Okay.
Lambeau, I was like, "This is my team." Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And I've been to the Mariners, I've been to the Diamondbacks, been to the Giants, Rockies. Like,
Oh,
I've been
nice.
to a bunch, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're okay." Like,
It's hard. I mean,
yeah,
baseball in itself is like it's such a slow game. I feel like you
yeah,
really do have to be close in proximity to be able to go multiple times.
yeah,
When I lived down in San Diego, um, like I've liked the Padres ever since
yeah,
going down because tickets at the time were really cheap. The team wasn't that great. And we were only 30 minutes away from the
okay.
stadium. Tickets were cheap. So we'd go, not all the time, but we'd go fairly often. And it gives you something to do. It's
Yeah, for
fun. You're
sure,
just watching baseball. I feel
for
like
sure.
it's even if your team's not as good, going to a game, it's
Going to a
still a
game's
fun
fun,
experience.
for
And
sure.
I think if you can go, it makes it so much better than just watching it on TV all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I love going to baseball games for sure, so okay, man, what are the rates looking like today in Cody's world?
Rates they're pretty much kind of right in line with where they were last week. I want to say 6.39 was this morning.
Okay.
6.39 or 6.36, right around there is kind of the national average. So it hasn't really changed a whole lot since the Fed announced. I can't remember what we talked about last week, but since the Fed announced, the mortgage rates did go up some, and then they've kind of worked their way down a little bit. But we're still in this government shutdown, so there's not as much data that comes out that would
To learn
otherwise be
what's gonna happen.
released
Yeah, yeah,
by government entities. So there's not been a lot of movement. There's not a lot of big reports. I did see an article yesterday though that was talking about we could see a big shift in the jobs reports because last year when a lot of government employees got essentially terminated, there were a ton of them that were offered kinda like a severance package, like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah,
paid for a
yeah.
year and
I
you
saw
step
that.
down, and September is when that 1 year ended, so there was one article that I was reading that was projecting there could be 100,000 less because those are now off payroll, so while they were still on payroll, it still counts, so with those jobs being gone, there could potentially be 100,000 less government employees that are getting paid, which would that's going to make a big impact on the numbers. So
For
it's
sure.
hard to know. I also saw this morning that they're projecting or, that the government shutdown could last as long as 24 days. So we might not get any real market moving information for
For a
still a few
while,
more
yeah.
weeks. So
And do you think the longer it stays out, the more it's gonna hit? Like you say, 30 days out versus like a 5-day government shutdown, the rates
yeah,
do something versus like a 30-day government shutdowns. Are you seeing anything that would really change that, or is not a factor?
I think it might hit a little bit harder initially just because of what will be released and information that is now available and we're
Yeah,
we're then at that point looking at you know whatever reports can come out and then another week later we're going to have the next month's report that comes out. So it could be kind of jam packed in that sense where there's just a lot of information in a matter of a couple weeks. I don't know how much of it will hit like long term. I think if we see that the jobs reports and unemployment numbers, if those are worse than what the economy would like, then I could see it starting to put more pressure on the Fed to lower rates again.
okay.
If they come out and they're kind of within expectations, then I don't know that really a whole lot's going to change. I think it would have to be that there's some pretty hard hitting stuff that comes out for it
Yeah,
to be not only a kind of a knee jerk reaction, but then to sustain it. So
I see.
yeah.
I see. Well, on kind of other news, we had our podcast last week, Venture with Joe and Cody. If you
Yes,
haven't
we
seen
did.
it, go see it. But we answered some questions, and we thought they were going to be like the weirdest questions that we get asked, but they actually turned out to be somewhat legitimate. And I think we're
They
going to do
they were.
videos based on them because we're like, those are actually like valid questions, even
Yeah.
though they may have come off a little silly. So I'm
Yeah.
going to give a little teaser of some of the things that we talked about, and I just wanted to kind of get your answers here. We probably only have time for like one question each, but um, I'm trying to think of. Oh, okay, this one was a good one, and this one gets talked about a lot. And what if I apply for a credit card during escrow? Does that a
Mm.
change? Is that going to change anything? I know that we talk a lot about do not buy anything, do not we make everyone super paranoid about buying anything during a process of purchasing a home. But that's a great question of, what if you open up a credit card? How does that work? What does it look like? Is it going to ruin the
Mhm.
deal? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. So the easy answer is no. It will not ruin the deal, but there are cases where it could. Like if your credit scores were already really low and opening up a new credit card brought your scores down because it's gonna drop your scores a little bit every time you open up a new account. If you max out that card, say you just got the card and you max that thing out, that is gonna tank your scores. So there is a chance that you could, by using your existing cards, we're not going to get notified that you're using your credit cards. But what we will get notified on is if there's a new account that's opened,
Hmm.
which means we're going to have to get everything updated, which means if that card is maxed out and we see that, then we're going to have to be, because we're going to have to now manually add that information in. Plus, then it's going to affect your debt to income. So in the worst case scenario, yes, that could be a very problematic thing. In a situation where you have good credit, your debt to income is fine. It's probably not going to make that much of an impact. You opened up a store credit card for Home Depot and you haven't used it. Like it's not going to affect anything. I would always advise people to do as little new activity as possible, especially when they're under contract,
Yeah,
just so that everything stays the same. And then once it closes, you can do whatever you want. You can open up accounts. You can do whatever. But the safest bet would be do not do it just to prevent that worst case scenario. Because I have seen it happen, and it's pretty sad when it does because it seems like it's this introductory rate that I got when buying this furniture for my new
for sure.
house, and then
For
now you
sure.
don't even get the house, and
Get the
it's
house because,
ugly.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you were saying that, if you have an already existing credit card, is there a certain amount that triggers a credit score, getting lower, or is it just happenstance? Say I spend, Joe Schmuck spends $1,000 extra on his credit card during a
Mhm.
process. Does it affect Joe Schmuck the same as the next person over, or is it based on that person's individual record?
Yeah, it'll be based on their individual stuff.
Okay.
Really, it comes out to balance versus limit.
Okay.
So, if you're maxing any of your cards out, it's gonna drop your scores a decent amount,
Okay.
but the kinda rule of thumb is keeping them below 30%. If you
Okay.
can keep your card balances below 30% of what the limit is, you're going to see the most impact. If you can keep it lower than that, great. It doesn't have to be kept at 0 or $10 or anything, but
Okay.
you'll notice if you have like a, Credit Karma or any of these monitoring sites, you'll be able to see too, like if you take your balances up to say 80%, and you left it there for a month, you'd see your scores go down 10, 20, 30 points potentially.
Okay.
And then you pay that down. And then the next month, you'll see them jump right back up. So it's really just kind of a load balance thing. So it is going to be different for each person. If you have, which is another little thing here too, is this is a good incentive for people to, if they use a card often, try to call and get an increase on that card,
Just so you can
on that
change that,
limit,
yeah, limit,
because
yeah.
if you're using it and you're paying it off on time, you can usually reach out to the card holder and you can tell them, "Hey, can I get a limit increase?" And when they do that, it's just going to increase what you can, not only what you can use, but also what you can use without your credit score being affected as much. Because if
Okay.
you get if you're at $2,000 limit and they bump it up to 5,000, you can technically use that card even more, and your scores are
Still
hit
stay the same.
less and
I see.
less. Yeah.
Okay. So just rack
So
up your credit card limit. So
rack it up.
just why
No,
not?
don't do that.
Like, why not? Like, it's
Just
not a big deal.
give
Like,
yourself more flexibility. It'll help your
uh,
scores.
nice.
Yeah.
Then you can buy the car after the purchase, buy the Lambo.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Rack
Um,
up the credit cards.
I had a question. Do we have time to fit in one more
Yeah,
question?
one quick one.
Okay.
I'm gonna
This
answer
wasn't one
quickly.
that we this wasn't one that we got to go over, but this is one I've been kind of curious about from your perspective. Like if you're listing a home, do you recommend that to like each person to stage the home?
Yes.
I mean, obviously some of them are going to have their own furniture in there, but is it like I guess walk me through that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You obviously have the option. We want it to be as comfortable for the person that's selling as possible, but staging does does bring more activity, bring more offers, and bring higher offers. It just does. There's statistics that prove it. I don't have the statistics right offhand, but homes that are staged sell for more than homes that aren't. Um, Having said that, we work around the people that are like, look, I have to live in my house. I can't have stage furniture
Yeah.
in my house. So what we have is there are we have designers and stagers that come through a home that is occupied, and they will go through each room and give suggestions as to what you can do in each room to minimize, to move things around, to put this couch here, or do this with this, and so then that is kind of more or less we get it as staged as possible while living in the
Mm,
home. So we find that's been
okay.
super helpful for people that have to live there. We'll come through it, and our designers will be like, "Hey, let's move this room around. Let's make this room look bigger. Blah 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 blah," and that tends to work. So, but yeah, I think I might have lost Cody. He just got sick of my answer. But anyways, that was our time. Anyways, guys, if you have any ability to head to Venture with Joe and Cody, sign up for our
I
podcast.
think
We
I
talk
lost you.
almost weekly about different things and have various guests on.
Can
So,
you hear me?
looking forward to having you there. And if Cody, if you can hear me, I don't know if you
Oh,
can. This is what live streams are all about.
technical
So.
difficulties.